All right, cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, wow, this is...
Whoa.
Yeah. So we got this from someone we know named Dina.
Mm.
And this is sake from her local area, but this is wine kobo o tsukatta sawayaka na nihonshu.
I'm gonna be honest, man. This has a really heavy wine flavor.
Yeah.
And I was not expecting that. Like, okay, like going into this, I knew that there was gonna be like a little bit of like a wine influence,
Yeah.
but it's like wine.
Yeah, I know.
You know what
It's
I
like,
mean?
yeah, when we smelled it, we're like, oh, this is really winey, and then it just like hits you. But
Yeah.
it's like the deep red wine. I would say that this is kind of like Merlot or one of like the more tanniny wines.
Yeah,
with heavier
I think Merlot is like
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Here
thank
we
you.
go. We're a wine channel now.
Dina, please give us more of this because this is wonderful.
Very much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So yeah, like I said, because you sent this sake to us, you're gonna see this video earlier than everyone else.
Probably like literally everyone else.
Yeah, probably literally. Yeah, I know. Only she knows the reason why we're saying
yeah.
that. But cool. All right, so today I want to talk to you about a topic that I don't know if you really want to talk about, but I want to talk about it, which is Christianity.
Why wouldn't I want to talk about it?
Because you're not like super religious like I used to be.
Dude, I was like way more religious than you. I grew up Catholic, man.
What are you talking about?
You don't get more religious than
I
Catholic.
joined a cult, man.
What do you think Catholic? Well, I shouldn't say that. No, never mind.
It is the largest cult in the universe, Catholicism.
No. But no, I've been wanting to talk about this for a while, because Christianity is like a really weird topic when you bring in Japan, because if you talk to basically anyone in the world and you ask them like, what religion are Japanese people, they're going to say they're not religious. Like, and I know that's not necessarily true because you have Shintoism, you have Buddhism, and it's really funny because if you talk to a lot of people in Japan and you ask them, what's your religion? They'll say, I don't have one.
Yeah.
But then they practice a lot of like Buddhist and Shinto traditions and stuff, right? And it's kind of like those people who are like, I'm not religious, but they celebrate like Christmas and Easter every year. It's like, well,
yeah, like yeah, like so just like a few weeks ago, my dad was visiting Japan.
Sure,
he was visiting with us, and also one of his friends from his business school days. So back in like 1981, they've been friends since 1981, and he's from Chile, and he was visiting too. So we hung out together. And when I told him that a lot of Japanese people get Christian-style weddings with a cross
all the time, man.
Yeah, and he wasn't like, if I say freak out, it's going to have the wrong nuance, but he was just like, what? Isn't that against their religion or something like that?
It was really weird. So my wife and I, we had a Shinto style wedding.
Yeah, right. Which was awesome.
It was. Arthur went. Yeah. It was pretty cool. And it was like a really surreal experience. Like I especially the actual wedding ceremony. I can't even describe it. Like,
you had to read that stuff from the paper.
My God, don't even get me started, man.
That was awesome.
It was so awkward, and my wife's family was laughing at me the whole time because like I was so nervous that like my hands were shaking.
I saw that.
And I was just like literally reading like each syllable at a time, just because like that's all I could focus on, and it was bad. I'm glad that it couldn't be recorded.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But it was so crazy. But then, so my sister-in-law, my wife's sister, got married last summer, and she had a traditional, and I mean traditional, Christian wedding, like with the priest, a giant cross in the background, like Jesus is up there, and
Jesus was up there
it was literally a church.
Wow.
And we were in there, and I was just like, this is weird, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's like the priest, they even hired, actually, no, the priest was Japanese, but he was like, you could tell he's been overseas before. He just had that vibe.
Yeah.
And that man was like, I can only describe him as very Christian.
What? What do you
Dude,
mean by that?
okay.
Come
all
on,
right,
man.
all right.
I know you. Okay.
Okay. Let me paint a picture for you. Okay, let me paint a picture. All right, you're back in the States. You see a very white family, blonde hair dad, blue eyes, blonde hair, blue eyes mom, blonde hair, blue eyes Christian. The dad's wearing like a nice dress shirt that's tucked in. He's got some tan pants and a belt on. The mom's wearing kind of like a lengthy summer dress. The kids are all wearing nice clothes and they're going shopping. What do you think of?
What? I don't know. I don't know what you're trying to get at. I just think of them shopping.
Dude, that is a Mormon family.
Okay.
100%.
Yeah, Mormon.
Yeah, you see them and you'll be like, they're Mormon.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
Yeah. So it's funny because for me, of course, being nicely dressed and stuff I associate with Mormonism, but more than anything, I associate the haircuts with Mormonism.
Yes. Yes, it's like they never went past the 1950s.
Yeah.
And it's like always, especially boys, so many Mormon guys are like blonde hair, maybe brown hair, but it's always that same hairstyle.
There's like a part here. And
yes,
it's really short on the
it's like
sides.
1950s hairstyle. I kind of associate it with, but it's like that's kind of what I associate with like the traditional Christian look.
Okay.
Right, or at least American Christian. Right,
American Christian.
And when I see somebody like that over here, because you do see them, it's like, man, that is a Christian right there. I see him.
You know, it's
specific. I was gonna say specifically a Christian, not a Catholic.
Yeah,
because Catholic's different, man.
When you say Christian, do you mean like Protestant? Is that what you mean? Or
I mean, it's actually kind of crazy because I've met a lot of Mormons here.
Yeah,
like way more than I really expected to, especially because like there's like a Mormon community like right where I live in Shonan. But the other one is Baptist.
Yeah.
I did not expect to meet Baptists here. Yeah. That's crazy.
I went to Tokyo Baptist Church when I was a Christian.
Exactly, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so it's funny you mention that because when we talk about Christianity in Japan, the most common sects of Christianity are Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses, which Protestants would say those are not Christians.
Really?
But what's funny is that of the people who call themselves Christians, not the majority of them, but the largest percentage are Mormons or Jehovah's Witnesses. I've met so many so the Mormons tend to be more like westernized, but I've met so many Jehovah's Witnesses in Japan that are like regular Japanese people. Yeah. But
I would have expected Catholic to be the number one.
Yeah, well, so
it's do you just kind of treat like Christianity over here and like Catholic over here?
No. So that's something that like Catholics do. Okay. Catholics are like, I'm not Christian, I'm Catholic.
Yeah.
But for me,
it's very true.
Christian is the umbrella term that includes Catholics, Protestants, and Orthodox.
Yeah.
And what's interesting though is like, you're talking about how Catholicism was the first main influence in Japan back in the 1500s, 1600s with like Xavier, whatever.
Yeah.
But because of the persecution and the illegalization of Christianity, they kind of went down. But then who came in afterwards? It was the Protestants, the Dutch.
Oh, really?
Protestants. The Americans were Protestants. Yeah. So that's kind of like
the Portuguese just screwed up everything. That's what this really means.
They were trying to say emperor, follow the pope. That's why.
Yeah.
But so one reason why I wanted to talk about this topic was, so I'm not a believer anymore.
Yeah.
My wife believed for a little bit. She doesn't believe anymore.
Yeah.
But even when we were both Christians, we went to Tokyo Baptist Church, which is very international here. But then in her hometown, in her grandmother's hometown, it's just a regular Jutakugai area out in the middle of nowhere. There was a sign that said, Yesu-sama wa sekai o tsukuru nushi, or something like that, which means Jesus Christ is the Lord who made the world, right?
Yeah.
And when she saw that, she felt really creeped out.
Okay.
Which is funny because that is a message of Christianity, that Jesus is God. But for her, she had like an aversion to Japanese Christian churches. But Christian churches in Japan that kind of lean towards the international audience, they were fine.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like creepy, like the Japanese,
like the all
Christian
Japanese.
churches. Yeah, they were like, she felt like they were cults or something like that.
So I want to bring something up.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about Catholicism first because
Of course you do, man.
Well, it's like I grew up Catholic, but like also I've started working at a Catholic school.
Okay.
And I've wanted to talk about this on the channel for a long time, but I've been kind of weary because like I don't want, I don't
get fired.
Well, I've come to learn because people have approached me over the past year that there's several teachers that are watching the channel now. They're just like, hey, I've started watching your YouTube, and I'm just like,
so you gotta
really?
watch what you say, man. Gotta watch what you say. Use all the bad words now.
I kind of wish you guys didn't find out about this, but all right, I guess the cat's out of the bag now.
We need to change the channel name to like the Drake and Seth channel or something like that.
Something like that, right? But anyways, so yeah, I've come to work at a Catholic church or
Catholic school.
Catholic school.
Does your Catholic school have a church in it?
It does.
There you go.
It does have a church.
You kind of do.
But yeah, I've come to work at a Catholic school, and it's kind of funny because for my entire adult life, I haven't been religious.
Yeah.
I grew up Catholic. I got baptized. I went through like the whole thing, and when other Christians, okay, so first of all, I want to point out Catholics are very elitist, and they look at other Christian groups as like, you guys are scum.
Yeah.
And you won't see that more than when you see like the process of getting baptized as a Catholic as opposed to like other Christian groups, right? So like I used to go to my friend's group just because I used to hang out with him on Sundays sometimes. And I forget what denomination he was, but it was like the weird people that do like the speaking in tongues thing.
Oh yeah, dang it, what do you call them? The Pentecostal.
Something like that.
Pentecostal.
Yeah. Those people are weird. But dude, literally, I'm not even exaggerating. You would see that every Sunday.
Yeah.
It always just weirded me out. I was like, what is going on? He's like, dude, they're just having a religious experience. I'm like, yeah,
no, they're not.
No, I don't think they are.
I looked into that. They're not.
But so I remember he got baptized, and it was just like, oh yeah, cool. You want to get baptized? All right, cool. Can you meet up this Saturday?
Mm-hmm.
And that was it.
Yeah.
And we're like, as opposed to like growing up Catholic, it's like I first started. We joined our parish when I was probably 11.
Okay.
Right.
What does it mean to join a parish?
So the parish is the church. That's what they call them, right?
The community.
Yeah, it's the community. And there's like a process, man. It's like, it feels actually very similar to Japan because there's like a very clear in group and there's an out group.
Okay.
Right. And if you haven't been baptized, you are forbidden from receiving communion. You can't go up and drink the wine and the cracker. And it is so awkward when you're sitting in the pews, when you're sitting on the bench, and everyone else is like standing up and getting in line and going to drink. And you're just like, all right, cool. I'm just alone out here. You know what I mean? It's really uncomfortable. So you kind of feel compelled to like go through the process and get baptized. And it takes a long time. Like I said, I think I joined, I was probably 11 or 12. And I didn't get baptized until I was 16.
Okay.
Like it was a lengthy process.
Did your church not do infant baptism?
So my parents grew up Catholic, and then they stopped practicing and joined some like weird Christian Science church. It was, I don't know.
Science?
Oh, it was dumb. I even remember being like 5 years old, like, this place sucks.
If it really was Christian Science,
yeah,
I'm sorry, because that started in my hometown where my parents.
Oh God, man, it was crap. I remember being a child and hating that place. Yeah. But then I think kind of like when I became a teenager, my parents were like, "Well, Austin, you can pick the church," and I was like, "Well, you guys grew up Catholic. I'm gonna try that out."
Yeah.
And so like we went back and started doing that again. And but yeah, like I was saying, like it was a lengthy process of like several years where it's like you go through these like trials and steps. Like, okay, you do this thing now. Cool, you're like certified now. All right, you do this thing now. Now you're part of the community. You do this thing now, and finally, when you're 16, you can like
get your catechism,
something like that.
Yeah,
it's been a while since I've been. But anyways, so like that was a whole process. And during my time as a Catholic, I actually really enjoyed it. I'm a person who really appreciates like repetitive rituals.
Yeah.
Like I hate changing my daily schedule. And Catholicism is all about repetitive rituals.
Stand up, sit down,
dude,
kneel, sit
it
down,
is crazy. You go to mass, which is like you go to church on Sunday, and it's like boom, every 5 minutes you're just doing this. You're standing up, sitting down, sing a song sometimes, then sit down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like it's kind of crazy. And I remember bringing my friends, and my friends always hated it, but it's like I really liked that part.
Okay.
And I love the art style of Catholicism. It's like this somber, like gothic look.
Yeah.
Oh man, that goes hard.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I love that.
Yeah. All right. So Austin, like you were so sorry, we just had to set something up, but
yeah.
So you're talking about the art style?
Yeah, dude, here's the thing. Like when you think
about cathedrals?
Yeah, so when you think about like Catholic art style, or actually, like, I want to paint a. Why am I using paint a picture? I just want to use that term now. I want people to think of what they think of as European style, because I think a lot of people, especially here in Japan, when they close their eyes and think of like European architecture, they actually think of like Catholic Gothic style architecture.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that
you know what I mean?
Makes sense. I mean, yeah. So kind of like this. Is that
exactly? Yeah. You go to a lot of places in Europe. It turns out many European towns are very old, and most of Europe was Catholic for like basically ever, right? And
until 1500.
Sure, but you know that's still like 1500 years of like Roman Catholic rule, right?
Yeah.
You know, and it's like you see these old towns in like, you know, Germany, France, Italy, especially Italy, you know, go figure, Rome's there. And you know, like every Eastern Europe, I guess probably gets more Orthodox, like you were mentioning. But anyways, like you go to these towns and you see these old cathedrals, and usually cathedrals were like the town center at the time. So like the whole city is built around these cathedrals.
You know, it's really funny. Sorry, this is not a complete digression, but one of my friends, actually, you know Andy. You remember Andy?
Yeah.
So he gave me a book about how Tokyo was developed as far as like city planning goes and stuff, because it really wasn't developed the way that modern cities are. But that book talked about something really interesting, which was in European towns, the church is in the center of the town and all roads lead to the cathedral. But in Japan, the shrine or the jinja is at the edge of the town. And it's normally at the foot of a mountain because the real shrine is up there. So it's funny because really the whole town life in Europe was centered around the church.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So, you know, to kind of bring this back into Japan, I've been really, I feel like I connect a lot with what you're saying about like Christianity here in Japan being really creepy, because I've seen a lot of it, especially like Mormonism.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of I was approached by Mormon missionaries that were Japanese.
Oh, really?
And it was like the weirdest thing for they could speak English, and they're just like, "Hey man, like, you know, it's like they give you this spirit, like anybody who's American has had Mormons come to their house and like try and give their pitch. And it was weird getting that pitch from a Japanese person.
Yeah.
And it was like, this is a religion that started in my country. And you're here doing it to me. It was so weird. And then, but my point that I'm trying to get at is the thing that really strikes me as odd is I don't feel that way about Christian or Catholic stuff that I see here in Japan. And I think the reason is Catholic culture is so strong that it kind of overpowers like local traditions and customs that people would set. It's like, because you go to anywhere in the world and you go to a Catholic church, it's the same. It doesn't matter what religion, or sorry, it doesn't matter what culture it is, because it's like, it's all Catholic. Right. And it's like here in Japan, when I'm going to my school and like, you know, when I see like religions or religious stuff happening there, it's like, oh, this is what I grew up in. This is the same.
Yeah, I think so. So Mormonism and Jehovah's Witnesses are very conformist. where you have to adjust to a specific expectation of you more than other Christian sects, I would say.
Very much.
And so that's one reason why I think it makes sense in Japan, because the hierarchy is so clear. But the thing about Catholicism,
it's also Japan just really likes cults.
Yeah, right.
Mormonism is like 100% a cult.
Yeah, so also with
not to offend anybody.
So
it is
about that. So yeah, with Catholicism, so you have some Catholic missionaries like the Franciscans or whatever, but general mainline Catholicism, you guys just kind of keep to yourself.
Very much. Yeah.
It's kind of like, back when Jesus died and everyone thought the earth was going to end tomorrow, then they proselytized, and then after about 100 years, they're like, oh, let's just be good citizens. Yeah. And so that's what you have with Catholicism, but...
Except for the whole, like, going and crusading and killing a lot of Muslims.
But that was
just had to get it out of our system, I guess.
I bet you in world history in Japan, people spend like 5 seconds on the Crusades. But I would love to talk about that for hours. But anyways, because I think it's still happening today.
Yeah.
But anyways, so the thing though is that, like you said in Japan, especially, I don't know, after in post-war Japan, a lot of new religions came out, Shinko Shukyo, and a lot of them are very proselytizing, they focus on converting. And Mormonism and Jehovah's Witnesses fit right in there,
Yeah.
Whereas like the international Baptist or Protestant churches, people see those as more like, oh, it's an international community. But when you have it's all Japanese people, it just feels like a cult.
So I'm going to say something that's like, if you're a Christian, I guess it would fall under the realm of heretical.
Okay.
Not
heresy.
Like,
not correct doctrine. You're going to hell if you believe it.
Yes.
That's heresy.
So there is a theory that Jesus moved to Japan. Yes. Have you heard about that?
Yeah,
I really want
somewhere in Tohoku, right?
So
is it Tohoku?
It's either I thought it was Hokkaido.
Okay.
But it might be Tohoku. Anyways.
Yeah.
So I first learned about this when I watched Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of weight in that statement nowadays, because Joe Rogan's kind of gone off the deep end in a lot of ways.
But he talked about this years ago.
Yes, he talked about it years ago, and at the time, like when I heard about it on his show, I was like, dude, that's so stupid. Anybody believes that is just dumb. And then like I've kind of it piqued my interest, so I wanted to dig a little bit deeper than that, and I started watching some other documentaries, like really kind of diving into it, and I don't know, man. There's a lot of evidence that says this guy just like he didn't actually get executed in the story, and he just dipped out, and then he moved like across Asia and ended up settling in Japan. And he got married and had a family here.
Yeah. Just like,
and it's just like, but it's crazy. Like, look, I know I'm sounding insane when I say this, but it's like, if you watch the documentaries, like there's a lot of like evidence, and like, people are like, this guy named Jesus just like showed up and started living here.
Yeah.
And he brought his disciples. Like, he didn't come alone. He came with like a group of people, and they just settled here.
Yeah.
And so he's looking at me like I'm crazy.
No.
I gotta show you the links, man.
No, you can show me the links. I've looked into this a little bit, but it to me it sounds a lot like saying that the Tengu are based off of Jewish people because the noses are big and they like money. But I've seen
clearly that's true.
But I mean, you have this thing where a new kind of theory or culture tries to borrow, what do you call it when something is seen as like official or real? It's not just some guy's
delusional.
It's not just delusional. The opposite of delusional. Like, it seems like something that's official.
Tangible?
No, not tangible.
I don't know where you're going with this.
Relevant? No. Realistic? No. It's something that basically everyone would agree, saying, "Oh yeah, there's a basis for that in reality," or something like that.
There's a word for that.
For that.
There's a word for that.
We've been drinking too much.
A little bit.
We don't.
A little bit.
We had a beer before this too.
But one of the things that cracks me up, and I really feel like Japan in so many ways is a Western country.
Yeah.
And some people would, I think a lot of Japanese people would agree with that, but I think there's also a lot of Japanese people who would disagree with that. But for me, what really makes Japan feel like a Western country is the fact that they have their own Jesus origin story. It's like, you look at America, and America's like, well, all these European countries get to invent their thing. Well, we're going to invent our own crazy religions. Yeah. And, Mormonism, we got a guy who just said that, like, Jesus lived in America and, all this stuff. So, like, we're officially Western. And it's like, I feel like Japan did that too.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know, it just, it feels like we're closer in culture now because of that.
Well, it's interesting that you say that because, like, I really do feel like Christianity in Japan. So let's take a caveat. I was about to say that people put on Christianity like they put on Western clothes here. Where like it's now just kind of a part of your everyday life.
Yeah.
But there are some Japanese people I know who went to the Northeast, who were part of some church movements. Now they're coming back building churches. So there are some people here who are really, really into like building the church and they really believe it. But I think the majority of Japanese people who join non-Japanese, like Baptist churches or something, they see it as like a Western, European, international thing. Like I remember a couple of my friends from Waseda, they went to churches because they wanted to practice English or they wanted to be in the choir and they wanted to sing English songs, And so it's almost like, for lack of a better word, it's almost like cosplay.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, very much. I think, like, I'll give you a really good example. You know what holidays have, Christmas has been a big thing in Japan for a while.
Yeah.
But like Halloween, specifically in the past like 20 years, has exploded in popularity.
And Halloween's pagan though.
Well, but
it's
like
Western, but it's pagan.
Yeah, but like, Christianity just kind of stole it. So, it's a Christian holiday now.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's like you have Halloween, and one of the things about Halloween, it started out, it's like everyone just wants to cosplay. It's like, okay, well, let's see, let's start this holiday so we can get girls in like skimpy outfits and guys can wear cool makeup and like stuff. But then it's kind of evolved into kind of what Halloween is in like other Western countries. You have trick-or-treaters starting now.
Yeah, right.
And it's really evolved into that. Christmas is, I think, is also almost kind of there, where it's like, I think if you looked at Christmas in Japan 20, 30 years ago, it's like, all right, everyone has a little cake, you get your fried chicken,
you have
that's
little like fake Christmas tree you put up every year.
Yeah, and like you go to the Christmas market and you have your German beer and your German sausage, right?
Yeah.
And you still experience that a lot here. The KFC dinner is still a thing, and it's like Christmas cake is still a thing. But like, there's a lot more people that are like just straight up buying Christmas trees and doing presents and having Christmas morning now.
Yeah,
right. That is way more common now than it was before. Yeah. And I think a lot of that is the influence of Christianity in Japan.
Okay,
I think it's becoming more. Here we go. We're going to use the word. It's entering the zeitgeist.
The zeitgeist.
And kind of normalizing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I really think it's really important for us to kind of split up Christianity or like Christianity, a couple of different things. Because, so I really want to talk about this. And if we talk about this video is going to be like an hour. And so maybe we'll do part 2.
Yeah, we're already kind of nearing.
Yeah, but so you have, so when you go to church, and depending on the church you go to, the type of people will be different. But the way that I see it is you have a lot of Japanese people go to Protestant churches because they see it as a form of international culture, Western culture practicing.
Yeah.
Then the Japanese people at those churches who really, really, really believe, almost all of them spent a lot of time overseas. Like I remember at Tokyo Baptist Church, all the Japanese people who really believed deeply were people who studied in America. Maybe they converted in America. They got that kind of culture. They were very international people.
Yeah.
But then you also have like the Catholics in here. And I would actually say that the Catholics are just like the Buddhists in Japan because they don't really
100%.
And you know what's funny? Yeah. There's evidence that says the rosary beads come from Buddhist prayer beads, actually.
I could believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
they're very similar.
Yeah, it's super ritualistic. And so it's just kind of like, most Japanese people don't believe in like Amida, Bosatsu, whatever. They just do it.
Yeah, they practice the creed, but they don't necessarily like really express their faith, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have like the Japanese churches that are kind of like insular communities, almost like cults, kind of like other Shinko Shukyo here. But I gotta say, this was really interesting. So back in 2007, my first time I was in Japan, I was in Osaka.
Yeah.
And I think it was in Kobe. Was it Kobe? The station place, the station name was like Shukugawa. Okay. There was a Baptist church in Shukugawa. And what was interesting about this church was it was all Japanese, but there were 4 American missionaries there.
Interesting.
And what was interesting about that was like, the pastor had studied in America.
Yeah.
The other Japanese people were just normal Japanese Christians believing like Shinko Shukyo stuff, right?
Yeah.
But it was almost like the Western missionaries, the American missionaries, gave credence. That's what I was looking for. Gave credence to the church. Like
now
what
I'm
they
just
were
thinking
doing
of Fortunate
was
Son.
legitimate.
Dun, 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 dun. Dude, you can't just mention Credence and it's like Credence Clearwater. Anyways, yeah.
And so like, because, Christianity originally comes from the West, it's almost like it can't really, once there's like a white guy there, oh, this is okay. But if it's only Japanese there, it's like, what is this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been really, we're running out of time here, but I just want to kind of end this note because it's been really interesting seeing Japan's reaction to different religions coming in.
Yeah.
First, I'm just going to preface this. I've never seen a Japanese Jewish person. Never. I don't even think they exist.
There's probably like one.
There's probably one.
Yeah.
However, there is a growing Muslim population here in Japan.
Even like ethnically Japanese Muslims?
No, never. You will never see you'll never see a Muslim Japanese person. But there is a growing Muslim population, usually from like Sri Lanka, Philippines, like Indonesia, like kind of like Southeast Asian, Pacific Islander countries coming here. And but there is a huge pushback on these religions, right? Like I live in Fujisawa, right? I live in Shonan, and they're trying to build a mosque.
Yeah.
And there is flyers that I get in the mail almost daily, and it's on the news basically every day of like people saying this, no, we absolutely will not allow a mosque built here. But it's weird that like there's so much pushback, but like Christianity, I guess it's just because Christianity's been here longer.
No.
I don't know.
So what I think it is I think with Islam,
it's
more intrusive on Japanese culture than Christianity is, because one of the big things about the transition from Judaism to Christianity, because both Judaism and Islam, you cannot eat pork.
Yeah. Well, Japanese people like pork.
I know, right? Yeah,
Quite a bit.
Especially now. So that's really difficult.
Sure.
Here. But the big thing about that helped Christianity spread, because originally Christianity was an offshoot of Judaism.
Yep.
Then Christianity became like the Jewish sect that you could eat pork. And it just kind of expanded from there, right? And so
that's why it's the best.
Yeah. Well, so then you think about those. So like a mosque, right? So of course you have like a cultural center there of Islam, right?
Yeah.
But what happens in a mosque 5 times a day?
Yeah.
They have a call to prayer, which actually sounds nice. I've heard calls to prayer, and they're very poetic, very beautiful. But in Japan, you have your 5 o'clock chime song, do 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 do, right?
Yeah.
But other than that, imagine like in Japan, you have Allah, blah, 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 like going 5 times a day. People love silence here.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work.
It's very true.
Yeah.
But it always kind of cracks me up because one thing that's very trendy, I'm gonna show a little bit of bias. You know, if you guys want to get offended at me in the comments, then you know I kind of I deserve it. But one of the things that I really see trendy, especially among Japanese women here, is you get a young girl or kind of like an adventurous, like entrepreneur kind of guy, right? But it's like the same kind of idea. It's like this young person who like is just really, really into going to Dubai.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, you have that in the States too.
I've met, I'm not going to say I've met a lot of women here, but I've met quite a few women that have moved to Dubai and converted to Islam.
Really?
Yes.
Converted to Islam.
They've converted to Islam, but they're Japanese. But like, I get really confused when I talk to them. I'm like, wait, you've converted? Well, it's like, yeah, I've got married and my husband's from Dubai,
I see,
right?
I see.
And so like, in order to get married, they have to convert, right? But it's just like, for me, it's so weird because you meet people who do that, but then there's so much pushback against Islam here. So it's really interesting because, like I said, I just don't see that a lot with Christianity. And I think what you said makes a lot of sense. But you know, it's like if I see somebody get married and just like become Christian here, it's just like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You know, my husband goes to this church, so I just go down.
Yeah.
And everyone just kind of accepts that.
So one thing that is really different from Christianity, why I think it kind of makes sense in Japan is Christianity is kind of like a chameleon religion where depending on where you go, the language is different.
Yeah.
The scripture is the same.
Yeah.
But the traditions are different. Like all of what we consider to be Catholic or Protestant traditions have their basis in paganism, European religion before Christianity. The Christmas tree, the Christ child, all the things are from pagan religions, right? Easter bunny too.
Yeah.
But what happened was Christianity absorbed that. And in Japan too, Japan is... So when you think about like Western religion, there's a clear, this is true, this is false. And you have to be true, you have to be correct.
Yeah.
Whereas in Japan, truth is a lot more relational, where the right thing to do depends on who you're with. Because it's different, right? It's contextual.
Yeah.
And I think, although Christianity is very, this is right, this is wrong.
Yeah.
It still adjusts to the culture
a little bit
fairly well.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much Catholicism, but Protestantism definitely.
Yeah.
But Islam is the opposite of that.
Yeah.
Islam comes in and they try to change the culture around them. Like,
that's
you
true.
know, like in Japan, you know, people get cremated when they die. And that's for Christians, it's like, you want to get buried, you want to get cremated, it's okay.
Yeah.
But Islam's like, no, you can't be cremated. You have to be buried.
And that's a big like flashpoint for like a lot of the pushback.
Yeah. So maybe that's one reason why.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've been talking about this a lot. I mean, we have...
dude, it's a really interesting topic though, because it's just like, it's so, you know, I feel it's kind of on the same level of talking about like white Buddhists.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, like practicing Buddhists in America.
Yeah, it's like people look at you like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Dude, I remember,
you know what I mean?
remember I was talking about like going to Asakusa and I just wrote a comment like, yeah, Asakusa is just a tourist place. You don't need to worry about etiquette.
Yeah.
And then this white Buddhist woman, came up like, you need to show respect to Kanon, to Guanyin in Asakusa Sensoji. I'm like, what? Like, she's like, I want to go there and worship correctly. I'm like, dude, I don't like the Japanese people don't care about that. You just walk in, maybe you bow a little bit. It's sorry,
that's hilarious.
That, but I just remember like getting chewed out by like this white girl on like Facebook.
Yeah, dude. Nobody. I'm not gonna say nobody in Japan, but like nobody goes to Asakusa for like any religious reason. You want to know why people go to Asakusa? I'll tell you why. High school girls go to Asakusa because they want to get crepes and they want to get the like matcha frappes.
Yeah, and also they want to wear the nice kimono and look kind of cool.
Yeah, exactly. Pose. Like no one goes to Asakusa for like religious reasons. Like, what are we doing? Yeah. Like the closest people will come to that is like Hatsumode.
Hatsumode, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And like Hatsumode, I guess, is like a religious ceremony, but like realistically, everyone's just like, I mean, it's New Year's, so you go to the temple. Why do you go to the temple? Well, go to the temple because it's New Year's. It's so like no one knows why anyone's going.
Yeah. So like my dad's friend from Chile, I told him about Hatsumode. He's like, oh, so people are really religious here. I'm like, well, kind of. They don't really believe it. He's like, well, then who are they praying to? It's like, well, if you ask them, they'll say, I don't know. How does that work?
Because it's just what you do. It's Hatsumode. Like, of course you got to do that, right? Like, I go do it every year.
I know.
I'm not even Shinto. It's
I go do it every year too.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Anyways, so we're gonna so we have a bunch of questions from this too. So we're gonna get into the questions and
Absolutely.
we'll share this on our Friends members. But yeah, if you guys have any other questions, you want to leave comments on the YouTube video. I'd love to see if I offended any Christians here.
You probably did.
I'm sorry. I used to be Christian. I understand your pain.
That's like saying I have a black friend.
What are you talking about?
I used to be this, so I can say things that offend you.
No, but, okay. We have to go into a different episode about that. But anyways, let's